In the headlines, National Assembly resident doctors to meet Friday over strike as patients appeal for quick resolution. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission probes Zamfara Governor Bello Matawale for alleged 70 billion naira fraud. Police arrest 2 suspects over attack on U.S. Embassy staff in Anambra. On the foreign scene, 3 rangers killed in East Congo convoy, ambush near Gorilla Park. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Abubakarta. Thanks for joining. And now the details. The president of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Emeka Orji, on Thursday said that the National Assembly has invited the association for a meeting on Friday. Resident doctors across 79 tertiary health facilities commenced a 5-day warning strike on Wednesday to press home their demands. Speaking on Thursday in Abuja, Dr. Orji said that the federal government had invited the doctors for a meeting. The doctors are demanding an immediate increment in the consolidated medical salary structure to the tune of 200% of the current gross salaries of doctors. The doctors also want immediate massive recruitment of clinical staff in the hospitals and immediate withdrawal of the bill seeking to compel medical and dental graduates to render 5-year compulsory services in Nigeria before being granted full license to practice. They also want the immediate implementation of domestication of the Medical Residency Training Act and review of hazard allowance by all the state governments as well as private tertiary health institutions where any form of residency training is done, among others. Meanwhile, patients at the Abubakarta University Teaching Hospital have decried the non-availability of doctors at the hospital following the 5-day warning strike by National Association of Resident Doctors. Adamu Imam reports that only few consultants are attending to the patients. The report.
Activities at the teaching hospital from the main entrance up to the premises have been paralyzed due to 5-day warning strike. Usman Shehu, a patient referral from Federal Medical Center Azare, says the strike has negatively affected him and many others, while appealing for the parties involved to resolve their differences and end lingering strike action, as patients are the ones suffering from it. Please, the resident doctors should look at our condition and exercise patience, while the government should also meet up their demands.
It is rather unfortunate because we have pregnant women inside the maternity ward ready for cesarean sessions with no doctors. We are appealing to them to call off the strike.
And today, the ward round is expected to commence early in the morning. But in our ward here, the surgical ward, we can only see one doctor. She has been battling since in the morning. Since in the morning, she alone. And she's expected to finish this in on time. But she was still telling me that probably by 6, she will still be here checking patients.
It happens like that. But I feel that, I don't know the problems, but I feel that the government should see to their needs so that they will come back. Actually, it's not easy for patients to stay without the doctors. They're really helping.
The association acknowledged that members comply with the action, stressing that they collaborate with the hospital management to provide other means of helping the patients during the strike.
This issue of increase in salary that we have been talking about, this is something that's supposed to, we are overdue. The salary is supposed to have been reviewed like 2 times by now. We are still talking about it. The Medical Residency Training Act that has been signed is a law. But if you look at it, if you are following our demands, almost every day we have to fight for it, or we have to give an ultimatum before the government pays for it. So while we should be optimistic that probably with the new administration we have to give them benefit of doubt, probably they can be able to address most, if not all, but most of our demand.
The striking doctors agree on the action they took, saying their carry-over demands will be pursued with the incoming administration. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In a similar vein, the Yobe State wing of the National Association of Resident Doctors has resolved not to join the 5 days warning strike embarked upon by the national body throughout the country. The president of the association in Yobe State, Dr. Abubakarta, who made the position of the association known after a meeting with the secretary to the state government, Baba Malam Wali, in Damaturu, said that the administration of Governor Buni has been meeting most of their demands, especially in the provision of a state-of-the-art equipment and improved condition of service. Dr. Kelly explained that Yobe is one of the states that is recuperating from the effects of Boko Haram insurgency, which created setbacks to many sectors, including healthcare. Hence, joining the warning strike will only create more harm to the post-insurgency recovery process in the sector. He further stated that most members of the association in Yobe are being sponsored by the state government and cannot complain of being abandoned as it is the case in other places. Now, the secretary to the state government, Baba Wali, who commended the members of the association for their effort, also said that their foresight will go a long way in not only saving lives, but also improving the health sector in the state. A coalition of civil society organizations has unveiled an independent National Unity and Reconciliation Committee on the outcome of the just concluded general elections. While on advocacy visit to religious and traditional leaders in some northwestern states, the group canvassed the need to immediately intervene between various aggrieved groups who feel dissatisfied with the outcome of the election. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Across many parts of the country, some are still celebrating their victory from the just concluded general elections, while others are trying to come to terms with their loss. But the civil society organizations are worried. They felt that the nation's peace and security may be under threat.
In the wake of the outcome of the 2023 elections, which really left a lot of people with so much concern and many agitations across the country. Some calling for the interim government, some calling for the taking over of the country by the military and the rest. So we feel that it's high time for us to embark on this mission to see how we can reconcile among different aggrieved constituencies of the people and to see how we can best understand ourselves through dialogue.
The Independent National Unity and Reconciliation Committee was primarily formed to initiate dialogue among various aggrieved parties, and these traditional rulers, religious leaders and security experts are the chief whips behind the reconciliation projects.
We will work together with you to ensure that you achieve the goal of building a strong Nigeria, a Nigeria that is united despite our own differences, a Nigeria that is reconciled.
Nigeria cannot be broken. Maybe if you don't know it, maybe if you are in your small bias or you are in your small canoe, and somebody comes to tell you that he's going to break Nigeria, you may believe him. For me, who has traveled the length and breadth of Nigeria, if you tell me you want to break Nigeria, I laugh at you. I go to deep slumber. I go to sleep. You only want to do cheap bargain.
Part of the committee's terms of reference is to promote religious and ethnic tolerance among Nigerians, liaise with the National Peace Committee in order to add strength to political cooperations among all parties in the country.
It is only in Nigeria running of governance is so expensive. It's the most cost thing that we have ever experienced. Because our politicians have failed to realize this, and because they are enjoying it. And that is why you see that they continue to provide security for one rather than security for all.
According to the Emir of Daura, Alhaji Umar Farouk, ensuring the nation's peace and security is non-negotiable. It should be seen as a tax by all Nigerians. My dear colleagues, if we fail to unite ourselves, if we fail to fear God, if we fail to unite Nigeria, how will the nation prosper? If Nigeria failed, where do we go? Take a look at what happened in Libya. Look at what is happening in Cameroon. They are all devastating. Nigeria must be one. As they embark on this independent national assignment, expert and opinion leaders are however hopeful that this commitment will be accompanied by stability and economic security throughout the country. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kanu.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it is currently investigating Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawale for alleged fraud to the tune of 70 billion naira. The anti-graft agency specifically said that the money was sourced as loan from an old generation bank, purportedly for the execution of projects across the local government areas of the state. The chairman of the anti-graft agency, Abdurrashid Bawa, made the disclosure at a press briefing at the headquarters of the commission in Abuja on Thursday. He said the money was allegedly diverted by the governor through proxies and contractors who received payment for contracts that were not executed. The anti-graft agency boss told reporters that the commission's investigations so far revealed that more than 100 companies had received payments from the funds with no evidence of service rendered to the state. According to him, some of the contractors who had been invited and quizzed by the commission made sterling revelations on how they were allegedly compelled by the governor to return the funds received from the state coffers back to him through his aides after converting the same to United States dollars. The police command in Anambra State has said that preliminary investigations conducted following the Tuesday attack on the U.S. consulate convoy in Ogbaru reveals that 7 persons were killed. Of the 7, 3 were U.S. consulate officials and 4 mobile police escorts. Speaking further on the development on Thursday, Anambra State Commissioner of Police Echan said a joint security task force comprising police tactical teams from the state command and troops of the Nigerian Army and Navy raided the suspect's hideout camp in Ogbaru local government area. According to him, the security operatives, upon arrival at a deserted camp, which was razed down, arrested 2 persons of interest who are currently under interrogations by the police. During the press briefing at the State Police Command headquarters, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Echan, said that the victims were on a mission to assess the impact of erosion in Ogbaru local government area. The police chief said that further investigations are on the way and findings will be shared with the public in due course. Now, the Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Sonny Theodin, has visited the traditional ruler of Mangu local government area of the state to sympathize with families of those who lost their loved ones. The Deputy Governor, alongside security operatives, visited the area in the wake of the attacks in some villages where several people were killed, including women and children. Ado Musa completes the story.
Governor and security personnel visited the traditional ruler to condole with the affected victims and the community in general. While sympathizing with the people of the area, the Deputy Governor wondered how the relationship between Magvul and Fulani deteriorated to the extent of killing innocent people.
This is indeed a very sober moment. That the state government has decided to send this delegation is a pointer that the government is concerned. As His Royal Highness did mention earlier, the primary objective of every government is the protection of the lives and properties of its citizens.
The traditional ruler of Mangu, Ilu Hrise, also expressed shock over the incident, despite the recent meeting between the leadership of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, and farmers in his palace.
I had a meeting in this hall with the Aglos and the Miyetti Allah. And we all discussed and we agreed that there has been peaceful coexistence between us. There has even been intermarriage between us. And so why should we allow this thing to happen to us, to destroy one another?
The national president, Mwagavul Development Association, Joseph Gwankat, disclosed to journalists that the death toll from Tuesday's attack has risen to 85, as the search for missing persons continues in the affected communities.
You had the statistics that they buried 50 and there is 35. So you put the two together, it give you a simple arithmetic is over 80. And we have not even had the statistics around Panyam-Gindri axis. So it's still ongoing. But for now, over 80 people have been killed. Houses burned, farms ravaged. And you can see that people are displaced. Children, they don't have any place to go again. So many villages. So that's where we are now. And the situation is very, very terrible. I'm happy that government has come today. NEMA was there, SEMA was there. I pray that they will do something to help these people out.
Hundreds of people, including women and children, have been displaced following the attack, with many of them taking refuge in various communities. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Katsina traders decrying exorbitant shop rent. Details and more after the break. Welcome back to the news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at the top stories again. National Assembly resident doctors to meet Friday over strike as patients appeal for quick resolution. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission probes Zamfara Governor Bello Matawalle for alleged 70 billion naira fraud. Now, the high cost of living has again come to the fore as residents of Benue State cry out to the incoming government at the federal and state levels to change the situation. Jimmy Azande reports that residents are no longer finding it easy to cope with daily needs because of the high cost of goods and services.
I want government to do something about human being and human everything will be human, so that everybody must be there. Because it's not one person supposed to be there. Everybody's supposed to be there based on human being.
Like Pascal Hanfa, many residents of the state are lamenting what they describe as the unbearable cost of living. At the markets, the traders are lamenting poor patronage occasioned by lack of money or its depreciation value. They said it is no longer business as usual for many families.
One of the transportation and all these people who gather for say produce whatever they call it. They don't keeping up prices, billing. They don't have normal price billing. Sometimes they collect. Just some place man they'll call you. Come on, go to like 1911. That carry card they will call you like 30K. You want passing to how much you will pay for your choice. And all these things now like this now for the honor of the peace. And you'll count everything and you pay everything. That's last you come and calculate. You know how business you come calculate how far, how much you come be, how much you say and give. All these things they is like one of the things that really make our things.
This condition now, things hard us well. Or you buy goods now, to you to say amount where you buy now, my problem. Everything is to cost. Just to manage life. We need the government help us for here so that they will make our business boom for us.
Families have adjusted their living standards to suit the tough economic realities, yet it appears things are not working.
Even to spare my children's school fees now, man, it's hard. But me, my work what I do, this Okada, you know what I do. Sometimes I get like 2,000 naira a day. This 2,000 naira a day, I get a day. Sometimes before I sell like 1,000, spend like 1,000 naira. But now only 500 naira they said, spend like 1,500. So the thing costs well. So even though if you get money, man, the money no they get value. You get like 10,000 naira now, before you know the 10,000 will finish.
The residents also lamented that the Benue situation is aggravated by the non-payment of salaries and pensions to public employees in the state. With this development, they directed their complaints to the incoming government. On May 29th, Nigerians will have a new president and 28 new state governors. Many Nigerians who are worst hit by the troubling economy are hopeful things will change for the better.
Now, 2 years ago, a devastating fire outbreak in Katsina Central Market left shops and goods worth 500 million naira in ashes. The loss was not only financial but also had a significant impact on the livelihoods of the affected traders. Jamil Mabai reports that although the market has been rebuilt, traders can barely afford the new shops due to the exorbitant rent. Hence, their appeal for the government intervention. The report.
2 years ago, Armayau, a textile business owner, lost a 6 million naira investment during a fire outbreak at Katsina Central Market. At the time the incidents happened, I have over 6 million worth of goods. After the outbreak, what was left was not up to 500,000 naira. The fire burnt most of my precious goods. The cause of the fire outbreak remains a mystery that left many traders devastated in the state. I was sharing a space with my friend to sell the little that remained. Government has stepped in to rebuild the market, but there is a catch. The cost of the new shops is exorbitant, leaving many traders unable to afford. Armayau's excitement was short-lived after seeing the price. We went to meet the governor at his residence. Government promised to build new shops for free, but things have taken a different dimension. We have been allocated shops, but we are to pay 2.1 million naira for shops. 400,000 naira down payment within 2 weeks. To be sincere, traders who became victims of the fire outbreak don't have 20,000 naira. The Katsina Central Market fire outbreak remains a painful memory for the affected traders, who are still struggling to recover from the loss. Observers said the government must do more to support them and ensure they are not further exploited in the process. Jamil Mabai, reporting for Trust TV, Katsina.
Now, on the foreign scene, at least 3 rangers were killed in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo on Thursday near a national park which is home to half the global population of endangered mountain gorillas and the scene of frequent militia attacks, an official said. 1 engineer was reportedly missing and 3 wounded in the attack, which took place as the vehicles of the Congo Institute for Nature Conservation left Kivandia village in North Kivu province, where dozens of armed militia groups are active. The conservation group often carries out electrical maintenance jobs around the area and is mainly tasked with protecting the nearby Virunga National Park. Virunga has been caught in the middle of militia activity left over from civil wars fought around the turn of the century. Now, the ICCN warned of a resurgence of violence in February after suspected Mai militants attacked a ranger position in Virunga, killing 1 and injuring 2. In sports news, Nigeria's Falconets will arrive Ghana on Thursday for the WAFU B Under-20 Women's Championship. 20 players and technical crew members are expected to make the trip to Kumasi for the competition. 7 countries will participate in the maiden edition of the tournament. The Falconets are paired in Group B with Niger Republic, Burkina Faso and Togo. Chris Danjuma's side will take on Niger in their opening fixture at the Babayara Stadium, Kumasi, on Sunday. Hosts Ghana, Benin Republic and Cote d'Ivoire are in Group A. The competition will run from May 21 to June 3rd. And that's it for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.